Hi everybody, what's up? My name is Juan, I'm just one reader, and I am thrilled to be here today because I'm filming the Broadway Musicals book tag. There are several Broadway related book tags that I've seen around, but I will be doing one that was created by Just Hannah Talking. She has 10 musicals in the list. However, I will be slightly changing it up because there's three musicals that she included that I haven't seen. So instead of those three, which are Aida, Newsies, and Oklahoma, I haven't seen those. I will be including three that I know and absolutely love. Question one is Phantom of the Opera. You will curse the day you did not do all that the phantom asked of you. And for Phantom of the Opera, it's a book with a villain or villains that are so past the point of no return, but you still love them anyway. And I had to go with a duology that is incredibly unheard of. People don't seem to know or care very much about these books, and I found them absolutely remarkable and thrilling and weird and surreal. This is book number one in the duology, which, by the way, I don't know if there's a title for the duology, but book one is The Somnambulist and book two is The Domino Men, and you should read this duology. Some people that have blurbed the first book say that this author has a combination of Edward Gorey, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Edgar Allan Poe, Wilkie Collins, Mary Shelley, Conan Doyle, Doctor Who, Mr. Hyde. So yeah, I strongly recommend this book. Question number two is Les Miserables. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly, on, and I am old and will be gone. And so for Les Mis, this is your favorite historical book. At the end of the day, this book cannot be beat for historical awesomeness. And if you tell me historical fiction, I immediately think of The Crimson Petal and the White by Michel Faber. This is a Victorian London type of book. It is amazing, not just because of the historical environment and the way that Michel Faber really paints this setting for us and makes us really feel as if you're there and you're able to see and hear and smell everything in this wonderful period of time, but also the story and the way that it's told and the way that everything ends up is just remarkable. Question three was originally Aida, but I haven't seen that musical, so I'm gonna use another musical and create another book tag question instead. So I'm gonna go with The Book of Mormon. I believe that the Lord God created the universe. I believe that He sent His only Son to die for my sins. And I believe that ancient Jews built boats and sailed to America. I am a Mormon, and a Mormon just believes. And so for the Book of Mormon, I wanted to choose a book that is hilarious, but it's also complex, and it has the power of changing the world. And to me, I immediately thought of The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I found this book absolutely delightful and so funny and so creative. It was kind of similar to my favorite book of all time, which is The Never-Ending Story, in terms of how it has so many layers and it kind of really plays with the reader and with the format. But I also think that other than being hilarious and playful and creative and original, it just really changed the world. It really changed at least my reading life, and it means a lot to me. Question number four is Wicked. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and leap. It's time to try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. And for Wicked, this is a book that is really overhyped and it's just way too popular. So I chose two of them. One of them, I don't have it physically because I gave it away, and that was Dante and Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin O'Leary's Science. I thought that book was pretty okay, but kind of disposable. I mean, I do see the value of it in YA, but it was just kind of forgettable. And the other one I do have in here, and it was Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. It kind of follows the same vein as Dante did. It's pretty okay. I mean, I didn't find anything overly special about these two books. They're pretty good, but I would never recommend them. Question 5 is Hamilton. So this is what it feels like to match with some amateur level. What the hell is the catch? It's the feeling of freedom, of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with a key and a kite. You see it, right? The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said in total agreement. It's a dream and it's a bit of a dance. It's a bit of a posture, it's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a flirt, but I'ma give him a chance. I asked about his family. Did you use his answer? His hands started fidgeting. He looked askance. He's penniless, he's blind by the seat of his pants. Handsome boy, does he know it? Peach fuzz, and he can't even grow it. I wanna take him far away from this place, but I turn to see my sister's face and she is. And so for Hamilton, this is a book that you found really fresh and unique, a book where the author totally didn't throw away their shot. And I chose my two favorite books from 2016. These are Swamplandia by Karen Russell and 10th of December by George Saunders. This is a collection of short stories. This is a novel. Man, what can I say about these books that I haven't already said? You should go, if you're interested in these, obviously, you should go and check out my favorite books of 2016 video, where I talk about them in more depth, or the separate reviews that I have for both of these. They're so fresh and unique. I've never read anything quite like them. Question 6 is The Lion King. He lives in you, he lives in me, he watches over everything we see. And so for The Lion King, this is a book that you remember fondly from your childhood. This is a book that helped you to be prepared for the future reading life that you would lead. Can I really not say Harry Potter? Of course Harry Potter. That's like the complete truthful answer. Other books that I read during my childhood, there's the Artemis Fowl series by Owen Colfer, a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. I also read books by Philip Pullman, which completely shaped my reading life. But I wanted to give a special shout out in terms of remembering fondly these books from my childhood to The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I loved these books when I read them. I was very, 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 very young. I must have been about 10 years old when I read them. These are the actual original, the Spanish translations that I read back then. And I'm choosing Narnia for this question because I feel like these are books that if I were to read them today as a 25 atheist, I would strongly dislike them, or maybe I would like them, but I would not be able to unsee all the religious undertones of this series. I wrote a dissertation paper for my psychoanalytical training last semester about how sexuality and religion play in these books as opposed to historic materials by Philip Pullman. So yeah, I don't think I would enjoy these books as I did when I was an innocent, religious Catholic 10-year-old. Question 7 was Oklahoma originally, but I haven't seen that, so I'm changing it to Avenue Q. I think everyone's a little bit racist sometimes. Doesn't mean we go around committing hate crimes. Look around and you will find no one's really colorblind. Maybe it's a fact we all should face. Everyone makes judgments based on race. And so for Avenue Q, this is a book that is bittersweet. It's kind of serious, but not serious at the same time. And it just packs a punch, and you just don't stop laughing all the way through the book. And I chose for this Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I read this a long time ago, but I distinctly remember reading this, and every single page I had to stop and laugh because it was just way too much. Question 8 was Newsies originally, but I haven't seen that, so I'm going for Big Fish. Big Fish was a Broadway musical that was on Broadway for a very limited time, but I was lucky enough to be living in New York at the moment, so I was able to watch it 4 times. It was so good. It had the most amazing cast. You can go and check the soundtrack, the Broadway cast recording. It is beautiful, the music, the sets, the story. Man, this is of course an adaptation of the movie Big Fish by Tim Burton, which is adapted from the novel by Daniel Wallace. And so for Big Fish, I am choosing a book that has a very emotional punch. It has an emotional core, and you really get to know the characters. And so for this, I chose The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I just have to go with this one. This is a book that I'm always thinking of rereading, but it's such a huge book that it's a long-term commitment. So when I can spare a week or 2 of my life to reread something, I will reread this. Question 9 is Rent. 525,600 minutes. 525,000 journeys to plan. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man? And so for Rent, this is a book that took you ages to finish, approximately 525,600 minutes. And so for this one, I chose Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This was a beautiful novel that I really enjoyed. It was mesmerizing and beautifully crafted, but I seriously doubt that I will ever pick it up again. It was such a dense and complicated book to read. Maybe when I'm older I'll want to revisit it, but right now it was so difficult to read. And question 10 is The Sound of Music. The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have heard for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. And this is a book that you would like to give a shout out before you say so long farewell. So a book that I would like to give a shout out to is Irlanda by Espido Frere. I talked about this book very recently in one of my reading wrap-ups that I'm doing. This is a book that I think BookTube in particular would really enjoy and would really appreciate. It is very thin. It is kind of magical realism, I guess. It is kind of gothic, really strange. It has this like magical, weird overtones that we enjoy in BookTube. Well, many of us do. I think this is a very good book to discover for BookTubers in particular. Thank you very much for watching, guys. That was my version of the Broadway musicals book tag. I hope you enjoyed. I tag absolutely anyone who wants to do it. I would love to see your answers and your videos. So if you do this tag, please link it down below so that I can go and check it out and enjoy it. I am Just One Reader, and I will see you next time.